or like the philosophy of masculinity.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Like,
wow, that's so interesting, Nick. Wow, you sound so smart.
As quite effeminate.
This is one of those jokes that is like, he's joking, but like, why'd your mind go to that as like the first joke? There's just some very strange undercurrents to the whole relationship, like totally unfalsifiable ideas about gender. It's just like shower thoughts about gender. That's all it is. It's just shower thoughts about gender.
Up in a situation
what is the
where,
editor doing?
Their girlfriend pegs them, or
what is this editor doing, man? Misusing memes at the start of the video, zooming in on Nick's face when they're talking about pegging. Brother, fire this guy. This is so not normal. This is so bizarre. Let's pull up the Erudite video. Let's pull it up. Where is it? My enthusiasm, my vitriol is waning. I can't find it in me to care. They're just like weirdos. They're just like so weird. I'm sick of pretending otherwise. I am locked in by financial incentive to continue covering this. But I don't even feel like the hate I once did. I feel pity. I feel discomfort, disgust, a lot of pity. I feel just like uncomfortable. Just like, it's not good. And I'm sick of acting as though these people are in any way normal. I feel like I got kind of gaslit into thinking that, like, I'm using gaslit wrong as well, owned. I got kind of gaslit into being like, into pulling punches in terms of calling these people like weird, like, you know, not normal, like there's something seriously wrong with them, by the whole idea of like them being mental health people and like seeming kind of successful. But it's just not the case. These are weird people. They are very weird. And I watched some of this video last night, and it's just so, they're so strange. There's clearly something wrong, either in their heads or in their relationship. But what the facade you get in the videos is just like, it's so thin. It's so weak. And the way they talk about stuff is alien. It's literally, it is like listening to either the most autistic people you've ever met try and think through gender dynamics, or like just an alien has come to Earth and is trying to map out how men and women interact. It is so just off-putting. Yeah, like the womanity shit. There's a lot of that in what I've seen of this. So we're gonna take a look, guys. Okay? And I just want to remind everyone, okay? Erudite initially started doing her whole thing online. She was saying, the end goal is to start this treatment center, this ranch for wayward young men. A ranch for wayward young men where no man leaves an incel. Okay. Yeah, the incel ranch, exactly. The incel ranch. And then the second thing she was doing was outreach content, trying to like basically be the blue pill, you know? Basically saying, oh, all these incels that are going down the red pill path, we're going to try and scoop them up, and we're going to make them blue pilled and epic. Now, I have had a glance, not just a glance, I've had a peruse with my top researchers over the NotSoErudite Discord server selfie channel. Now, the sites I've seen in there did not seem like your standard run-of-the-mill young men, incel, disenfranchised, likely to go down the red pill. It was a lot of fat black queers. I don't say that disparagingly. I say that with love. Lots of rainbow sweatbands and such. This sort of thing. It's not exactly what you would think an audience scooped up from red pill would look like. A lot of people with lizards as well. Stuff like this. So I've been doing research. I just don't see that ever worked out. I don't see that she's ever picked up
Happy New Year.
Those incels. Thank you for the dono. Thank you. Hugely appreciate it. Thank you. I just don't see that this has ever worked, that she's ever picked up these you know, potentially right-wing, disenfranchised young men. I'm not seeing that. I don't see that in her content. I don't see that in her community. So I do think that, honestly, it is a better path for her to go down just doing retarded feminist theory. So maybe her new path is better. But I just don't see that this content, if she truly is in any way still trying to appeal to incels or, you know, the potentially red-pilled young men. This content, whatever the fuck is going on in this video, is like poison. It's like caustic to anyone like that. Thank you for the $5, Nate.
Can't get most right-wing males to take your blue pill when it's a suppository.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Nate. All right. Let's get into the video.
So, hi everyone. Welcome to NotSoErudite's channel. That's me.
Thank you for $2, Lucas.
Intro.
Cut.
Cut. I'm here with my husband, Nick.
Hi.
When you go online, when people make assumptions about my husband, they assume he's soy and weak and small and that I bully him and that we were like trapped in this relationship. I think they very much view it as like the
All true. I have nail polish on. Look.
But I feel like people picture it as like I'm like the alpha tyrannical.
So I don't actually know what I've said about their relationship. I don't know if I've ever ran that narrative that he's just like totally whipped. But there's actually this video. You will get a much better, you will understand what's going on, I think. You'll see what's going on. Because my understanding has always been, and this is why I don't think I've, like when people say, oh, he's getting cucked by destiny, I don't think I usually run with that bit. Because my understanding has always been that Kyla got into streaming because Nick was like, hey, it'd be really cute if you started streaming. It'd be like really cute if you started streaming. It'd be so cool. Oh, also there's a streamer I really like watching. There's a streamer I really like watching. You should talk to him. So it always seemed to me as though Nick had like his product to get himself almost like into DGG or streaming. That's always how I sort of saw it, and he was sort of like along for the ride. I don't know if he's ever tried to do content creation, but I always saw it as like maybe he couldn't make it, or he thought she had a better chance and he wanted to be along for the ride, have that lifestyle, be doing those things, and so pushed her along to it. And we'll see it. We'll see it here, okay?
Female, and you're like this subby wubby little male that I.
Yeah, so part of my research, Jesus Christ, research into NotSoErudite's Discord, I found out that apparently Nick is the like #1 debate bro in NotSoErudite's Discord. Research, yeah, in NotSoErudite's Discord. Apparently he's like super aggressive, super aggressive, and is like all on Discord all day, debating people, shouting at people on VC. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. And apparently there was also an incident a while ago. I don't know if anyone's got this VOD. I think there's an archive somewhere of a lot of J-Stalk's old VODs. But I heard about a J-Stalk stream. Apparently very early on, he got into a fight with these two. And Nick like jumped on really angry. Apparently J-Stalk said, or well, I don't know if he said, but basically NotSoErudite made a tweet mocking. Do you know who Isabella DeLuca is? She was the woman with fat tits that made that cake in a TikTok. And then everyone was like, whoa, there's a woman with fat tits making a cake in a TikTok. This is so trad and epic. And then some other woman made fun of her for being like a tryhard, fake trad retard. And then Erudite piled on and made some comments that maybe arguably implied that Isabella DeLuca actually had small tits. I believe this got mocked on a J-Stalk stream that she would say something like this. And then Nick jumped on super aggressive to try and fight Kyla's battle for her. Now, I can attest, I haven't seen this VOD, and I would like for someone to find it for me, if they possibly could at any point. I can attest, though, that is the sort of behavior Nick engages in. Spicy Chat veterans, the proud people that they are, may remember Nick jumping into Chud's Discord. Some people were calling some random woman fat, some totally random woman, not Erudite, just talking about a random woman calling her fat. And Nick jumped in and was like, actually, if you're going to talk shit about my wife, you should know that her BMI is 21.93. So at least make sure your insults are based on something. Everyone was like, bro, nobody was talking about your wife. So I can absolutely back up the idea that this guy loses it sometimes. It absolutely, ego gets hurt and has to fight on Discord. 100%, that's this guy.
I'm here with my husband, Nick.
Hi.
When you go online, when people make assumptions about my husband, they assume he's soy and weak and small and that I bully him and that you are like trapped in this relationship. I think they very much view it as like the
all true. I have nail polish on. Look.
But I feel like people picture it as like I'm like the alpha tyrannical female and you're like the subby wubby little male that I'm cheating on.
So they're using this wrong. This is not what these memes mean, is it? Not only are they like ancient out of date incel memes, but this is not what this means. She's saying like it's like a dom sub relationship for where the woman's dominant, but that's not what these mean. These are doomer wojacks. These are for depressed people.
Has like no space within the relationship, which I actually think is really far from the truth.
Like boss babe, cuck husband.
Yeah. Which I think is understandable. I think it's a pretty common archetype.
So yeah, it's a common dynamic.
Yeah. And I think what's really special
is it
about you is that in every way we've fulfilled like what you would expect of that dynamic. Obviously I'm biased, but I think most people would agree you're very masculine. I was inspired to make this video.
He's looking very phase bankian.
Actually by a comment left on one of my videos that I uploaded a couple of days ago, which is basically, it's from I Love Idiots 1, who said, your husband needs an award for giving up everything so that you can chase your dream.
Okay.
One who said, your husband needs an award for giving up everything.
He's complimenting Nick and his name's I Love Idiots. Is it a troll comment? Who knows? It could be, it might not be.
I always thought he's a willing cook / MP. Like he used his wife to get close to destiny, gain access and kickstart their streaming career.
Thank you for the £5. Thank you. Huge appreciate it.
It's from I Love Idiots 1, who said...
So here's a comment from W Retards. Nick 1.
Said, your husband needs an award for giving up everything so that you can chase your dream. And I saw that and I was like, first of all, I'm a terrible wife for not thanking you explicitly in either video. Also, I was like, wait, I feel like there's something really unique and interesting about the fact that you've kind of given up everything to like basically chase my dream, which is also something that to some degree was a non-negotiable for me. Like when I was looking for relationships, I realized that I had a pretty narrow net because I wanted a partner who'd be willing to...
So are you immediately seeing what I mean? And it's so like alien and weird and stunted. There's part of me, okay? And listen, I understand I'm personally affected, so I may be seeing ghosts. There's part of me that thinks, after the comments she made in her last video about Mr. Girl being so amazing and artistic, but being such a terrible person, does this not come off like the lamest attempt at a Max and Shaylin conversation that you've ever seen? It's like the Real Doll review with no teeth. It's like if you gutted a piece of Mr. Girl content for everything that made it interesting, and then like filled it with plastic bags like you were taxidermying it to make it sort of sit upright with its hollowed out corpse. That's what we're watching right now.
Degree was a non-negotiable for me. Like when I was looking for relationships, I realized that I had a pretty narrow net because I wanted a partner who'd be willing to let me kind of pursue the dream of like the treatment center.
Yeah, it's like, it's very Smethian. It's Smethian, isn't it? Very, it's not really the same thing.
Who'd be willing to let me kind of pursue the dream of like the treatment center and everything that comes with that. But I feel like you've maintained like high levels of masculinity despite occupying what has kind of gender traditionally been viewed as feminine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Smith contesting these allegations, not Smethian. I disagree, Smith. Have you noticed that Nick here is he's actually got his nails painted in this video. So he's cross-dressing just like you. He's AGP like you.
I feel like you've maintained like high levels of masculinity despite occupying what has kind of gender traditionally been viewed as feminine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think about the Roman Empire a lot. So like I in a lot of ways like.
Wow. Ha 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 ha. I think about the I'm man. I think about Roman Empire. This is like as bad as it's like on one hand. Here's like what this is as bad as. For men, it's as bad as kitchen jokes. So I'll get back to the kitchen. For women, it's as bad as would you love me if I was a worm? That's the level of like meme or insight that we're operating on when we talk about, oh, I'm a man. I think about the Roman Empire. Empire. Even as a joke, it's so fucking cringe. It's like, yeah, it's TikTok humor. It's like such white girl, Starbucks, wretched, reptilian, poser behavior. I think about the Roman Empire a lot. Fuck off, man. No one asked. No one asked.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, I don't know, I think about the Roman Empire a lot. So like I in a lot of ways, like I am living in the past when it comes to like philosophy of like, or like.
Yeah, you ain't BAP, buddy. You ain't BAP. Stop thinking you BAP. Deeper Armor, link me the Longhouse video. Deeper Armor, where's the Longhouse video? Look, this is how you talk about gender dynamics in a video properly, okay? Wait, I can't find it. Dude, it's so difficult to find. Dude, where is the recording of him reading it? Fuck, let me keep playing.
Philosophy of masculinities or whatever. Like I just.
Oh my god, I can't even take moments to find clips because there's so much funny shit in this video.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, I don't know, I think about the Roman Empire a lot. So like I in a lot of ways, like I am living in the past when it comes to like philosophy of like, or like the philosophy of masculinities or whatever.
The philosophy of masculinities. Brother, you are the fucking male wife of a C-tier streamer. You're not fucking Chomsky. Stop sitting there adding different suffixes to words to try and sound like you're smarter than you are. Talking about philosophy of masculinities. Same shit Erudite was doing with womanity. Okay?
You will eat the bugs and Erudite.
Yeah, expert in relationship. They never just say what they actually, what would communicate what they mean in the most common colloquial way. They are constantly like thesaurus maxing. They're like looking for extra words. And it's so funny when they do it because sometimes they just like, and you'll see, they use either the wrong one or they clearly don't actually know what the word they use means. They know what like a simpler word means and they've reached for like a way more expressive one to try and sound smarter. It's so fucking annoying, man. It's actually one of the most annoying character traits. So based.
Like I just I'm not. So like I in a lot of ways like.
So that's my philosophy of masculinities. Okay, guys, that's my philosophies of masculinities.
Yeah, I mean, I just like, I don't know, I think about the Roman Empire a lot. So like
cool,
in a
man.
lot of ways, like
ha 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 ha.
I am living in the past when it comes to like philosophy of like, or like the philosophy of masculinities.
Wow, that's so interesting. Like, wow, that's so interesting, Nick. Wow, you sound so smart.
As quite effeminate in the first place. In my mind, I'm going to look back to cultures that were like obviously masculine, you know, as one example, like the Spartans or like the Scandinavian Danes, like
okay. he's saying I look back at cultures that were obviously masculine to find my ideas of masculinity. But for you to analyze a previous culture and say whether it's masculine or not, you have to already have an idea of masculinity. What he's saying right now makes almost no fucking sense. It's like total circular logic cope. It's actually, you know, painful.
Like as one example, like the Spartans, I view our civilization as quite effeminate in the first place. In my mind, I'm going to look back to cultures that were like obviously masculine, you know, as one example, like the Spartans or
like, dude, it's just such a weird, retarded understanding of like gender theory. And I say he's literally pulling it from the fucking Bible, unless they're literally just like being Christian and pulling it from the fucking Bible and being like, oh yeah, men go and get food and hit things or whatever. I don't know. I truly don't know. It makes no sense because you have to have a preconceived notion of masculinity, which is a socially constructed thing in theory, to then evaluate previous cultures and decide which ones are masculine or not, right? So you can't go, I look back at previous cultures to decide which ones are and look back at the masculine ones to find my ideas of masculinity, because you have to have already had the ideas of masculinity to do that. So, do you see what I mean? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, I said this last night when I was talking about it. It's horoscope shit. It's horoscope shit. This is the easiest thing in the world to do. If you have a captive audience that isn't going to think too deeply about the things you're saying, this is the easiest fucking thing in the world to do, because it is just horoscope bullshit. It's like, I sort of feel like Spartans were masculine. Here's a couple of fun facts I know about Spartans. It's like the most retarded, low IQ engagement. It's not gender theory in any way, or theory of masculinities, or whatever the fuck he's saying. It's so surface level and vapid. It's worthless.
I'm going to look back to cultures that were like obviously masculine, you know, as one example, like the Spartans, or like the Scandinavian Danes, like the Vikings.
It's like shower thoughts. It's just like shower thoughts. Whoa, Spartans were like really masculine, but they like stayed home and didn't work. I'm spoiling bits here, but
right. And it's like they both thought it was disgustingly feminine to make money, like working.
So this is what, because he's been out of a job for the whole time Erudite's been doing her thing. Out of a job while he's been in the US for the whole last year. So it's actually feminine to have a job and make money, guys. Okay? I know he's sitting there in nail polish, but it's actually feminine. And he's a Chad masculine-based Spartan Roman-based epic medieval guy, because he doesn't work because he's a bum.
Was weak, and some of the Vikings, right? And it's like they both thought it was disgustingly feminine.
Yeah, just say there's nothing cool about working. I don't want to fucking work. My wife's like making the money. Why do you have to cope like this about acting like you're more of a man because you don't work? It's so crazy.
To make money, like working was weak, and soy and math. And math. Yeah, it was literally like woman's thing. An abacus was like woman's work, right? Like the Vikings, it was like, unless you're making money a Viking or farming, like that's cucked. Like being a merchant is like soy, right? And by the Spartans as well, like this in Spartan culture, like their women were merchants. And
is this even true? There's probably like some, I don't know, some loose truth to it. You'll probably find something about this if you Google like something about, I imagine he's probably read it somewhere, but it's literally like, it's close to evolution. Oh, he's wrong. People are saying he's wrong. And the Vikings were indeed merchants. This is just wrong. I mean, regardless, I don't think it matters if it's right or wrong, because even if it's right, it's like, it's almost like Evo Psych. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, you can come up with any sort of like story to say, oh, well, I think we're this way because of this, because, you know, in the future, all women will have massive tits because guys all like massive tits. So women will just have, you know, that it's like that sort of thing. It's that sort of level of analysis. It's like, here's one thing I thought about in a culture that's kind of true. And so that's the way it is. That's the way masculinity works. Vikings trade all the time. Why still silver if you couldn't use it? Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know how Vikings worked. I don't know how Vikings worked, but I would imagine I could still man him here and defend him from you guys being rabid. Did Vikings get the shit they sold from stealing and pillaging? Or were they like, just like traders? I think he's saying being like a merchant would be looked down on. But if you just went and stole a bunch of shit and raped a bunch of people, then you were based. Why isn't he doing that then? Well, because he'd rather be a male wife. I don't think Vikings are even a thing. That's what they were referred to when they raided. Otherwise, they were Danes and so on. Yeah, I suppose Viking is kind of like a misnomer in terms of like naming a culture, right? It's more like there was like a Viking period where people did this form of raiding a lot, and it was across several cultures. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting hung up on this. It's a minor point. So
it's like, unless you're making money a Viking or farming, like that's cucked. Like being a merchant is like soy, right? And by the Spartans as well, like this in Spartan culture, like their women were merchants and the weaklings were merchants.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel like
this is like reducing all of Egyptian society to pyramid building. Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's only talking about it in the context of masculinity, but it's still just like so fucking empty-headed. It's like picking out one point and being like, oh, yeah, so that means it's masculine to be a lazy bum.
Men were merchants and the weaklings were merchants.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel
like
right now, like,
dressed like a ninja. He ain't out here like these women of valor doing heists.
Thank you for the $5, Nate. Thank you.
And like grinding, hustling, like making lots of money is very much viewed as like a masculine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you literally go back like not even 100 years, go back like 60 years, but especially more than 100 years ago, like go to Victorian England or whatever, and it's like there's this division between like the masculine braggadocio ruffians, right, and the weak aristocratic bourgeoisie gentlemen or whatever. And it's like everyone, no one was ever under any illusion.
Is that even the case? Is that even true? Is that even true? I don't know if that's true.
That the gentlemen were...
I think this is like something from movies. I think this is like you see in a movie, there's like the rough like urchin that like grows up to be like a masculine guy or whatever. That's like the sort of like a movie thing. I doubt that at the time in the culture it was like, oh yeah, it's actually based to be like poor and starving and working to death in a factory. I expect it was probably always more slanted towards the most powerful people in the society. He just played Assassin's Creed 2 again. It's not 2, is it? You mean Syndicate?
More masculine than the ruffians, right? No, it's like within like the last 40 years that making lots of money, I think, has been considered like the masculine thing to do. It's like Psycho, like American Psycho or whatever.
Yeah,
like just flipped everybody's brains. Patrick Bateman, yeah.
Like, and this is just delusional. American Psycho flipped everyone's brains. Dude, the change towards, if you can even call it a change, the fetishization, the celebration of being like a CEO businessman has been going on for a long time before American Psycho. That the book exists because of that attitude. The book it's satirizing that attitude. No, it's like, oh God, thank you for the $10 frontside boss. Thank you for the $10.
It's like in the time that the book was written, it was like a mockery. Patrick Bateman was like a mockery of masculinity.
Yeah,
like the shark.
You don't want to be Patrick Bateman.
Well, even it's just not masculine. Like the shark CEO guy.
Well, yeah, but the book didn't come before the social attitude. I don't understand. Oh, dude, it's so crazy. What do you think it's satirizing? What idea of masculinity do you think it's mocking if that wasn't already the idea of masculinity? I don't know. It's so fucking crazy.
Patrick Bateman. It's like in the time that the book was written, it was like a mockery. Patrick Bateman was like a mockery of masculinity.
Yeah,
like the shark.
You don't want to be Patrick Bateman.
Well, even it's just not masculine. Like the shark CEO guy is not a masculine figure.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street made stocks popular. That is the level we're operating on right now.
It's like in the time that the book was written, it was like a mockery. Patrick Bateman was like a mockery of masculinity.
Yeah,
like the shark.
You don't want to be Patrick Bateman.
Well, even it's just not masculine. Like the shark CEO guy is not a masculine figure. Yuppies are not masculine figures. So I've just, not to say that it's a wrong perspective to think that making money makes you masculine. It's just a very new one and not one that I subscribe to and one that I don't think makes very much sense.
Yeah.
You know, like I think
it doesn't make any sense that it's considered masculine to work hard at something and be successful, to deliver food and resources to your home. How do you work through this one? How do you work through this one?
I think attaching your masculinity to your wallet is very silly.
So then I guess, why were you willing, if I like...
No, it's just silly. No explanation further. It's just silly.
Harken back to the comment. Why were you willing to...
I mean, I agree. It's silly to like fucking... but I think it's silly to think like this in the first place. I think if you're sitting there analyzing your own masculinity in these terms, having to think through this shit, there's something fucking wrong with you. You've got like autism or some serious insecurity or a mental illness. There's something fucking wrong with you, because there's no reason you should be sitting there ruminating on your masculinity like this. It's very fucking strange. It's incredibly fucking strange.
To let me chase like my career dream, essentially.
It makes sense that if your partner's dream,
like, who goes through their life seriously thinking through this, like trying to rationalize their level of masculinity through the lens of historical cultures that treated men's role differently? Who has to do that? Who has to think about that other than people who are like worried or upset about it? I just don't get it.
Harken back to the comment. Why were you willing to give up everything to let me chase like my career dream, essentially?
It makes sense that if your partner's dream is incumbent on you picking up everything, dropping everything you have going on and going somewhere else, it only makes sense to do that, assuming your dream is not incumbent on holding on to the things that you have presently.
What do you mean? Like I feel like so many men would be reticent to go because they've...
Did he use incumbent correctly there? So it's like incumbent upon. Define incumbent. I'm being autistic. I'm going to be autistic. Yeah, necessary for someone as a duty or responsibility. No, he used it correctly.
Already got a career somewhat established in the city that they're in.
There's another word. He clearly doesn't know what he means when he says it. We'll get to it though.
What do you mean when you say there isn't something?
Thank you for the $5 dream, my crap. Thank you. Huge appreciate. Thank you.
Forget the language used, but essentially like tying, like incumbent upon in a certain location.
Well, so I it's fair to feel that way and not want to pick up and leave everything, right? But if your partner pursuing their dream requires you to either way it goes, right?
How is he not able to work just because she's streaming? That's retarded. We'll get to it. We'll get there.
Pick up and leave everything behind.
Yeah.
But your dream doesn't necessarily require you to stay where you are. It's just like expedient. It's just easier. It's just simpler for you to stay where you are. I think that's a bad reason to stay. Like, I think it's really cool that it is a common theme in relationships that women, but like wives, are willing to pick up.
I scammed your super chat. The modern image of Vikings were just an 1800s nationalist romanticism to invent unified Scandinavian identity. Huh. So it's just like a made-up mythos thing that never really existed. They weren't barging around with horned helmets. Well, I mean, I'm sure a couple of them were, but the image we have of Vikings isn't actually a thing. That's just like a nationalist Scandinavian thing. Awesome. Thank you for the 70 sec. Frontside bust, $5. I have a mullet and perm, so bitches, please listen to how based I am. Okay.
Up and drop it. That's a bad reason to stay. Your dream doesn't necessarily require you to stay where you
Horned helmets are completely made up. This is totally destructive to my worldview. I accepted that as total fact. I thought it was just like Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Partner pursuing their dream requires you to either way it goes, right? To pick up and leave everything behind.
Yeah.
But your dream doesn't necessarily require you to stay where you are. It's just like expedient. It's just easier. It's just simpler for you to stay where you are. I think that's a bad reason to stay. Like, I think it's really cool that it is a common theme in relationships that women, but like wives, are willing to pick up and drop everything that they have and move across the country or move to a different country for their husband to pursue a new avenue in their career. I think it's bad when a husband asks their wife to do that and it's not in
Okay, but I don't think this doesn't change anything about masculinity thing, Carmen.
Pursuit of their dream. One theme in relationships that women, but like wives, are willing to pick up and drop everything that they have and move across the country or move to a different country for their husband to pursue a new avenue in their career. I think it's bad when a husband asks their wife to do that and it's not in pursuit of their dream. It's like a $10,000 raise.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking idiocy.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
But if it's like to pursue a dream, it only makes sense for each partner. And I think it's admirable of either partner to do that if pursuing your dream requires that. And like, you as the partner who would be moving, your dream doesn't require you to stay where you are.
I feel like that's such an unappreciated thing
About women
that exists in a lot of relationships that I feel like I think there's a lot of things unappreciated about traditional gender roles just across the board. I think there's things that
the consensus among historians is horned helmets did exist, but only as unlockable skins, only available during holiday events. Oh.
Men do, for example, like providing for their family. I think it's actually vastly underappreciated. The cost that it takes to work even an extra 20 hours per week compared to their wife and to miss out on all that family time to bring in the income that they need to maintain middle class, or for example. But I also think it's really underappreciated. In the gender traditional dynamic,
I feel like it is appreciated. It's just
men.
Yeah, it's just common and it's expected. It's still appreciated. It's like the military, right? It's like it's expected and it's appreciated.
Do you think that women's willingness? Well, I know. Actually, I'm not going to ask you this because I know that women's willingness to basically be in
it's expected and not appreciated.
Yeah. Be in orbit around their husband is expected and really not like 100%. I think motherhood is appreciated a lot, Like whenever like I hear like moms posting being like, nobody appreciates moms. I'm like, what are you? We overappreciate moms sometimes. Like, bro, chill. Like we appreciate moms, but we don't appreciate like why. I feel like a lot of the time.
It also lacks respect. Like it's appreciated. Like everyone loves moms, appreciates moms, showers moms with praise.
Thinks wives
but we
are
don't.
great.
Yeah,
They're cute.
Yeah.
They're so sweet.
But no one goes, wow. Well, not many people go, wow, you're a mother. That's the hardest job in the world. Like, and if they do say that, it's kind of patronizing.
Yeah.
Like they don't actually.
I totally, my head turned static. I lost it.
For sure. Like 100%. I think motherhood is appreciated a lot.
Yeah, like this is the horoscope shit I mean, man. Oh my God. This is so annoying. You can say this about any group of people. You can endlessly do this. The whole, you know, I don't think men are appreciated enough for, fucking washing cars. I don't think men get enough rep for washing cars. And I can just endlessly do. I don't think women get enough credit for going shopping. Like, it's so worthless. It's so fucking worthless. It's like, it's so, yeah, subjective. It's dependent on the sort of area you grew up in, the type of people you know, the circles you run in, your religion, your country, even between probably states in America, there's slightly different attitudes between people. I'd imagine in California, you probably see a bunch less appreciation for like parents and traditional family roles versus like middle America. Like you can just go, oh, I feel this way. And it's like totally unfalsifiable claims that are like fucking worthless. What do you do with the statement, I don't think people are super appreciative of mothers? What does this fucking do for anyone? It's so worthless and vapid.
And this is why it's totally fine for me to sit in the cook chair while Destiny breeds my wife.
Thank you for the 70 sexist guy. Thank you.
No, actually, I'm not going to ask you this because I know that women's willingness to basically be in
it's expected and not appreciated.
Yeah. Be in orbit around their husband is expected and really not, like 100%. I think motherhood is appreciated a lot. Like whenever like I hear like moms posting being like, nobody appreciates moms. I'm like, what are you?
Kuihman does not know about Latinos. Are you saying that in reference to the California thing? Well, even then, that just proves my point. Because if you ask Latinos, they're probably like super big on traditional family roles. But then if you ask a white person in the same state, you're probably likely to get a very different answer.
We overappreciate moms sometimes. Like, bro, chill. Like, we appreciate moms, but we don't appreciate like why. I feel like a lot of the time.
It also lacks respect. Like it's appreciated. Like everyone loves moms, appreciates moms, showers moms with praise.
Thinks wives
but we
are
don't.
great.
Yeah,
They're cute.
Yeah.
They're so sweet.
But no one goes, wow. Well, not many people go, wow, you're a mother. That's the hardest job in the world. Like, and if they do say that, it's kind of patronizing.
Yeah.
Like they don't actually mean
it's
it.
Cringe. It's cringe as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like nobody talks about the fact that traditionally women will just consistently pick up their entire life to follow the man and the career trajectory and like whatever he needs, basically. Like they just consistently will leave everything behind.
Is that even true anymore? I don't think that's true. I don't think this is true. I don't think this is true. Isn't this like, this is one of many factors that is probably causing issues with like, you know, fucking young people not being in relationships and shit, is the fact that women are now more career focused and have their own lives, right? Before, guys would just go and find some woman who's got nothing to fucking do at like 18 and pick them up. Now, women are much more career focused. Men and women have less time to interact in like social contexts. Is this not, like, women are just more career focused now? The attitude has changed on this. College is like getting to where it's like mostly women.
Support their partner.
And then it's often not worth it. And then they grow to resent their partner.
Yeah.
Younger than 18
That's
before,
true.
but true. Oh, I wasn't thinking that far back, but sure.
What if say this all blew up and I end up not making enough money, I fuck up in some way, something happens where basically, fundamentally, the dream isn't worth it. It doesn't happen. Would you resent me for upending your life and bringing you to Florida?
I think it's been mostly women in college for a while now. Yeah, probably. I was hedging my bets a bit.
No.
I try not to be too woman-hating, okay?
Bro, chill. Holy shit. Jesus.
Listen.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me run that back.
Your life and bring you to
no. I don't. I think I just trade you for a 20-year-old.
This is one of those jokes that is like, he's joking. He's joking. But, like, why'd your mind go to that as, like, the first joke? Why'd your mind go to that as the first joke? Exactly. It's a, haha. Unless it's, like, not, you know, he's not actively thinking, I'm going to leave her for a 20-year-old. That's my plan. Obviously, it's not serious like that. It's like a joke. But there's like there's a snipe there. There's like a snipe. There's like a, I could get someone else if this fucks up. That's what, there's like something, there's an undercurrent to it.
True.
And then it's not the orange.
What if, if say this all blew up and
what's Jason saying?
I end up not making enough money, I fuck up in some
Why does this young Jewish lad hate this young successful couple so much? Okay.
way, something happens where basically, fundamentally, the dream isn't worth it. It doesn't happen. Would you resent me for upending your life and bringing you to Florida?
No. I don't. I think I just trade you for a 20-year-old.
Bro, chill. Holy shit. Jesus.
Listen, you used up your best years, not mine. No, I don't
like.
Bro.
No, I don't. I think I just trade you for a 20-year-old.
So full sip, first of all.
Bro, chill. Holy shit.
Like fake laughing. It's not particularly funny. Total fake laughing. She doesn't really like. She's not actually. Like this is like fake. This isn't a real expression.
Bro, chill. Holy shit. Jesus.
Listen, you used up your best years, not mine. No, I don't think so. I think
some mouth-breathing, smooth brain, I think, is gonna watch this. President Sunday is going to watch this and be like, he's serious.
Yeah.
He's not serious. He's not like serious when he says it.
Watch this and be like, he's serious.
Terrible Sunday impression.
Yeah. That was a bad Sunday impression.
Very true, Nick.
I'm sorry.
It's not like serious, but why does your mind go there? Why does your mind go there? And then you have a rationalization past that point. You have, I would drop you for a 20-year-old, and then you used up your best years, not mine. If he hasn't made that joke before, he's thought of it before. Do a better Sunday impression. No, I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. But there is an obvious, like, I've made jokes like this. Everyone's made jokes like this.
Selfishness or stupidity to do this and make this video, then have the gall to make fun of Sunday.
You don't take digs like that without there being some weird hint of truth to them, you know? Some weird little, oh, well, you know, if it does fuck up, I could get someone else. Yeah, I'm just kidding. You're not used up, smile. And it's just like such an uncomfortable, like, quip to make. Real voice you lost. No, voice cracks are cool, actually. They're masculine. Look back in Spartan culture. Takes a special kind of selfishness and stupidity to do this, and then make past Sunday. Thank you for the $9.99. Thank you. Federal rape. Thank you.
Sorry, I haven't studied that enough to do a good impression.
No. Okay. To seriously though, no, I don't think I would have. What was the question? Would I resent you
if this all failed?
No, I don't think I would. Well, no, I know I wouldn't resent you if it failed. If I did all of this, what I would say is if I did all of this or accepted all of this, and you didn't really put your best foot forward, you didn't really put in the effort, you didn't prioritize things, you didn't take like criticism, you didn't take it seriously, then I probably would, because it's like, well, what the fuck did I give you this for?
Thank you for the $10 frontside boss.
A real man is in it for the long haul to build a family. Just saying, from a guy married for 16 years with 2 kids.
Thank you.
But
you know what I mean?
Would you say I'm there already?
What do you mean?
Like I'm putting my best foot. Would you say
seriously? Then I think if I did all of this, what I would say is if I did all of this or accepted all of this, and you didn't really put your best foot forward, you didn't really put in the effort, you didn't prioritize things, you didn't take like criticism, you didn't take it seriously, then I probably would, because it's like, well, what the fuck did I give you this for?
But
you know what I mean?
Would you say I'm there already?
What do you mean?
Like I'm putting my best foot.
Well enough for sure. Like I think you're doing it like a damn good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be better, and that's why I criticize you so much.
Guys, no way have I. Please tell me I'm getting like the fucking time wrong or something on my stream. I haven't actually been going for this long with 10 minutes of the video, have I? Dude, I'm fucking unhinged. Where's the Chuck Finesse ratio? I'm fucking unhinged. Ah!
Yeah.
You could be better, and that's why I criticize you so much.
So, okay, yeah, okay.
And you didn't really put your best foot forward. You didn't really put in the effort. You didn't prioritize things. You didn't take like criticism. You didn't take it seriously. Then I probably would, because it's like, well, what the fuck did I give you this for?
But
you know what I mean?
Would you say I'm there already?
What do you mean?
Like I'm putting my best foot.
Well enough for sure. Like I think you're.
Like, dude, isn't that crazy? So am I doing like good enough in like, you know, trying to become a streamer and everything? He's like, well enough. It's not just like a yes. It's like it's a well enough. Everything he said, there's like digs constantly. There's like weird digs, and she's like retarded. I realized that she's like, actually retarded. So I just don't know what's going on in this relationship. It feels like literally like Nick is almost like puppeteering. He's got his hand up her ass, you know? If you'll pardon the expression. He's like puppeteering. It's like weird passive-aggressive comments to keep her in line. And then feeding her all of his masculinity theory and shit to go and fucking regurgitate on stream. And pushing her to, you know, I want to say pimping, but pushing her towards destiny, being like, oh, I want the streamer lifestyle. I want to be in the famous lifestyle. Here's my wife. It's just very, there's just some very strange undercurrents to the whole relationship. If it's not obvious, the digs are because the topic list here, and this is unhinged, totally unhinged speculation from JStalk here.
These two feel the crack of a whip against their bare backs twice a day for 1 month.
Thank you for the $9.99 federal rape. Thank you. If it's not obvious, the digs are because the topic list here is literally all arguments they've had in the past year. If he didn't do the digs, he'd be admitting he's wrong. Oh, if that is true, if there's any truth to that, that sells it to me that she is desperately trying to do a Max and Shaylin conversation. That sells it to me completely. That would be the kill shot for me. I would be completely on board.
You're doing it like a damn good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be better, and that's why I criticize you so much. No, I give you feedback obviously because it's perfect and no one's perfect. But no, I think you're doing a very good job. Yeah, and I have a lot of respect for you, and I admire a lot that you do, and I'm really proud of you,
dude.
How do you maintain
a lot of respect? No, I give you feedback obviously because it's perfect and no one's perfect. But no, I think you're doing a very good job. Yeah, and I have a lot of respect for you, and I admire a lot that you do, and I'm really proud of you,
dude. It's so cringe.
How do you maintain a sense of like masculinity? How do you feel respected?
Dude, it's just like such a fucking awkward video. Do you see what I mean? It's like watching aliens interact. They're so fucking weird. It's so strange to looking on. It's so uncanny.
On Instagram, I'll post like thirst traps, like intellectual thirst traps. And I definitely like pretty self-evidently lean into my like attractiveness or sexual appeal. It's not the only thing that I bring to the table, but I'm by no means hiding from the fact where I feel like if you compare it to like Anna Kasparian, she's beautiful, but I feel like she's never leaned into that. She's always tried to...
Oh, sorry, it slipped through. Sorry, guys. We have to clarify intellectual thirst traps for the audience. Erudite thinks that if you post a picture of your tits on Instagram and put hashtag intellectual thirst trap and a philosophy quote in the post, somehow that's better than sex work, okay? That's a step. That's actually fine and based. That's actually really awesome.
Or sexual appeal. It's not the only thing that...
It's very trad. Table, very trad and girl boss.
How do you maintain a sense of like masculinity? How do you feel respected when like on Instagram I'll post like thirst traps, like intellectual thirst traps?
But intellectual thirst trap is such a fucking bizarre cope name. Why? How did you rationalize yourself into this? How did you come up with this? Who told you this was a good idea? They were like, oh yeah, coin the term intellectual thirst trap. That'll do amazingly. That's not completely fucking cringe and off-putting in every way.
And I'm really proud of you.
No, Destiny would not encourage that. I do not believe that for a second. Do we have the Bridges Gang video? Where's the Bridges Gang video? It's on my subreddit, I think. Fuck. 1 second. Where's the Bridges Gang video? The Bridges Gang sign video. Yeah, here we go.
I don't know what that means.
Like this.
Keep this in mind, by the way, guys. This will be relevant later. This will be important.
Okay, you have to do our Bridges Gang sign.
I don't know what that means.
Like this.
Oh, because it's a bridge.
Yeah, see, isn't that cute?
That's the level of engagement Erudite's retarded fucking ideas get from this guy, okay? This is how enthusiastic he can be, but when Erudite's doing some retarded shit.
Okay, you have to do our Bridges Gang sign.
I don't know what that means.
Like this.
Oh, because it's a bridge.
Yeah.
So I do not believe for a second he is encouraging whatever the fuck intellectual thirst traps are, okay?
And I'm really proud of you.
How do you maintain a sense of like masculinity? How do you feel respected when like on Instagram I'll post like thirst traps, like intellectual thirst traps, and I definitely like pretty self-evidently lean into my like attractiveness or sexual appeal.
I just looked up the hashtag for intellectual thirst trap and it's almost all NSE. Yeah, because it's just her, it's only her that does it. It's never caught on. Nobody thinks it's like cool or funny or epic. It's just like enabled and yes manned by the same 5 fucking retard perma-virgins in her fucking Discord. That's it. That's it.
It's not the only thing that I bring to the table, but I'm
not cute nor funny, don't care.
Hiding from the fact where I feel like if you compare it to like Anna Kasparian, she's beautiful, but I feel like she's never leaned into that. She's always tried to stay really, really professional, which is totally her choice to make. Whereas I feel like I've pretty intentionally, like I wear a choker every episode. I never worn a choker before, but I also intentionally chose to continue wearing a choker after people were like sexualizing it. Because I don't care, and also I don't care about being sexualized. So do you feel like, even though I'm saying I respect you, am I respect?
This whole video, I don't have the censored memes, so I can't put it up, but it is. It's the picture. It's the picture. I'm stealing this as well. They can take credit if they want. It's the picture. I'm a sad, lonely F-slur. Here's some embarrassing information about me. Please don't bully me with it. It's just the whole way through. It's the whole fucking thing.
Kasparian, she's beautiful, but I feel like she's never leaned into that. She's always tried to stay really, really professional, which is totally her choice to make. Whereas I feel like I've pretty intentionally, like I wear a choker every episode. I've never worn a choker before, but I also intentionally chose to continue wearing a choker after people were like sexualizing it, because I don't care, and also I don't care about being sexualized. So do you feel like, even though I'm saying I respect you, am I respecting you?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't care about like, I don't know why it would be disrespectful of me for my wife to be hot, or even beyond hot, like sexy, like to dress sexily. The only thing I can imagine, it's kind of like
right.
If I had a problem with that, I don't know how that wouldn't obviously voice my just insecurity of mine. I think it's obvious that being insecure is.
It's literally we're looping back around. Everyone was saying it was fucking retarded when Vosh was like, actually, anyone who's not polyamorous is just insecure. We're looping back around. Everyone was saying that was dumb a year ago, and now we're back around. There's people once again doing the whole, actually, monogamists are the real cucks.
So I don't know. It just doesn't.
Yeah, we're back in Reddit world.
Disrespectful, unless you're just. The only way I could see it being disrespectful for your wife to dress sexily or whatever, or to post
and, like, post pictures.
Yeah, is like if.
Are they poly? They have been through periods of open relationships. Okay, they've opened it up for times.
It's like hurting you because you're insecure,
and that she keeps doing it after you voiced it.
Yeah,
like the Jonah Hill situation.
Yeah, which is just insecure. It's fine. It's fine to be insecure, and you should be honest about where you're at.
And
but
then
like,
if your partner keeps doing it, that's where she's. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think that is emasculating you.
Oh,
I just think that's the only reason why you'd have a problem with it. And it would be emasculating you if they like if they're constantly entertaining men.
What
like
do you mean?
If guys are in their DMs and they're like flirting back, that could be emasculating, you know. But like using your looks and sex appeal, I don't.
Like he's just like arbitrarily saying, this is masculine, this is emasculating. It's like there's no basis, no reasoning being given. It's just like the most empty-headed horoscope bullshit. It fucking sucks. This is the most low IQ faux theory that I've ever heard. What is the value to this? Truly. I'm not even sitting here just trying to, I mean, I was just going to fall on deaf ears. No one's going to believe me when I say this. I'm truly not just trying to pick it apart endlessly. This is just like actual fucking worthless content. Like, why fucking make this? It makes no sense. What do you think you're adding with this piece of content? I understand if you just put it up to make money, if you just wanted to get like a 10,000 view video, and you know you can throw this up on your channel to make your relationship and get a 10,000 view video, sure, whatever. If it's just empty slop, sure. But I think Erudite thinks of herself as a little higher than that. I think she sees herself as having a bit more to offer than just a 10,000 view slop video. I don't think what she's trying to do is just make a 10,000 view slop video that has no discernible value past the ad revenue it generates. Which just makes me all the more confused as to why this is what they're doing. Yeah, they try to seem like an intellectual. It's the performance of being an intellectual. That is what we're seeing here. So I need to like AFK for like 2 seconds, okay, guys? So just give me a moment, okay? Thank you for £2. If you watch Lolcal Live, please leave, okay? Wow, amazing stuff, guys. Thank you for the $9.99, Max. Thank you, huge appreciated. What is your comment here? All of what Erudite says is 95 IQ vibes-based nonsense. Erudite thinks if you can both sides everything and say something kind of centrist, it's true, even if it's debunked by one Google search. Thank you. And thank you, Dahoop God, for the membership. Let's get back into the content.
I don't understand why that would be disrespectful to me, unless it's out of respect to my insecurity about your sex appeal, which I don't have.
Right. Do you think that men who are significantly less attractive...
Post meta-ironic music is cringe, not gonna like wrong.
Inclined to that, or like what makes a man more inclined to be nervous about his wife?
It's using your looks and sex appeal. I don't.
Oh, that is a great point. I should chill. That's very true. Guys, 615 people here right now, 98 likes on the stream. Some of those 515 or so people wouldn't mind moving their cursor thumbs up and clicking it or pressing the thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your support one step further, you can donate directly through a Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message. You can also buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat. Buy a super chat, which will highlight your message and read it out on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that will be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you.
I don't understand why that would be disrespectful to me, unless it's out of respect to my insecurity about your sex appeal, which I don't have.
Right. Do you think that men who are significantly less attractive are going to be more inclined to that, or like what makes a man more inclined to be nervous about his wife being like attractive, and for other men to look at her and go, yeah, she's really hot?
Probably, if I had to guess, I'd say probably not their attractiveness, but just their lack of trust in their partner and their insecurity, or their...
Thank you for the 5 gifted, Biblical Angel. Thank you, huge appreciated. And thank you, Big Aaron, for $2. Thank you.
They're, if I had to...
like attractive, and for other men to look at her and go, yeah, she's really hot.
Probably, if I had to guess, I'd say probably not their attractiveness, but just their lack of trust in their partner and their...
Her husband looks Mexican, Canadian and Mexican. I bet Trump loves him. I believe he's like 1/16 black or something.
Their lack of trust in their partner and their insecurity, or their lack of their lack of trust in their partner and their lack of value for themselves, I guess. Because like, what's that signaling? You know, if you're worried about your partner, like being out there for other people, and then them entertaining other people, it's like, okay, well, what are you afraid of? Probably them cheating. Why would they cheat? Well, they find someone better. You're not good enough, right? Or
impulsive.
They're impulsive and untrustworthy, right? So I guess those things, probably for the most part. So I think hot people, very attractive people, can also be insecure.
Yeah. So do you think if I was more impulsive, you'd feel potentially like less comfortable with me being sexy?
Who is this advice for? It's definitely not for bad looking men. It's not even advice, is it? It's like totally worthless, just like pontificating about like totally unfalsifiable ideas about gender. It's just like shower thoughts about gender. That's all it is. It's just shower thoughts about gender. It's so fucking weak.
On the internet?
More so if I just didn't trust you. Like if I didn't trust you not to like hop or something like that. You know what I mean?
Like change partner.
Yeah. Like if I thought I was not a catch and you had like famous people in your DMs all the time, and you were dressing provocatively, such as to invite that sort of engagement
and participate.
And then you were in.
Thank you for the $2, Buffalo. Thank you.
Then then I might be insecure. Yeah. Well, no, then I would be insecure, I guess. Yeah.
So what behaviorally would change in our dynamic if you felt like I was untrustworthy?
I'd just tell you that I was insecure. Like, I wouldn't use that language.
Would you ask me to stop posting pictures?
I mean, that wouldn't be an unreasonable thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be unreasonable?
No.
This is genuinely as valuable as watching two people with Down syndrome run a podcast, but far less entertaining. Okay, that's fucking based.
I think, like, it's tricky.
Here's the thing, though, right? So even if... Okay, let me ask you this, sorry. Say it's reasonable.
For you to ask me to stop posting pictures. Okay.
Do you think me displaying...
Are there any Down syndrome podcasts? These guys are better conversationalists than Nick. 100%.
Security would be...
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be unreasonable?
No, I think, like, it's tricky.
Here's the thing, though, right? So even if... Okay, let me ask you this, sorry. Say it's reasonable.
For you to ask me to stop posting pictures. Okay.
Do you think me displaying that insecurity would make you less attracted to me, though?
Probably.
I would assume so.
Sorry, guys, back to the...
It's tricky because if you're insecure because I'm untrustworthy, then I'm creating the environment in which I'm less attracted to you.
Sure. I mean, I don't think that changes the fact of that the dynamic would make you less attractive, though.
Yeah, just like it's fucked for men in that position, right? Because there's nothing they can do to really up their...
Yeah, can we just, once again, take a moment to remember the NotSoErudite's said her house is decorated with all black walls, all white floors, all white ceilings. How fucking crazy is that? You don't need anything else to know that these people are either, like, retarded or severely mentally ill. There's, like, something wrong in your head if that's how your house is decorated. Unless you're like Tim Burton. If you were like Tim Burton and your whole house had, like, fucking funeral shit and fucking, like, coffins and cobwebs and shit, because you're just constantly in that vibe, sure, I can get it. I can get... You're not so erudite. Why is your whole house like a sensory deprivation tank? What's going on in your fucked up little head to where you can't look at coloured walls? Even like a nice, like, mix of warm colours or something, just to, like, make it a bit homely. Why is your whole house this sterile, black, like, fucking high school rec room?
Or sexual attraction to their female partner because they are insecure.
High school drama room.
But because she's untrustworthy, they're acting insecure, which is decreasing their sexual appeal to the woman, which might make her more likely, as an impulsive person, to be increasingly untrustworthy. And I don't see, like, the out of the Ouroboros.
I think that's just a fact for men, right? It's like the ick. It's the ick problem.
Yeah.
It's like a girl can get the ick for you at any time for any reason. There you go. You know, like, that's just one of the...
Yeah, and the worst part is what it does to the lighting as well. Did you not think about this? Having all black walls in your fucking studio room. It sucks the light out.
It sucks about being a dude. And, like, I think that women are, relatively speaking, just kind of more mercurial than guys. And that's something that guys just have to deal with.
What do you mean by that?
Mercurial? Mm-hmm. Like, prone to...
Whimsy?
Well, yeah, now we're just using one weird word for changing.
Oh, yeah, here we go. 1 minute.
Mercurial. There you go. You know, like, that's just one of the things that sucks about being a dude. And, like, I think that women are, relatively speaking, just kind of more mercurial.
Why did he say mercurial? It's because he's thesaurus maxing, and he was the word he was going to say was like fickle, impulsive, that sort of thing. That's what he was going to say. But he's switched it to mercurial. Now watch him try and explain what mercurial means.
I think that women are, relatively speaking, just kind of more mercurial than guys, and that's something that guys just have to deal with.
What do you mean by that?
Mercurial? Mm-hmm. Like, prone to...
Whimsy?
Well, yeah, now we're just using one weird word for changing one weird word for another.
Like, whimsy is an easier word.
Mercurial fits better, though.
I agree.
They're prone to sudden, emotional, less, like, rational changes.
You mean fickle or impulsive? You mean fickle or impulsive if you are desperate to fucking sound like you're talking in Roman times, like you're fucking Plato and Aristotle talking about how men shouldn't get jobs because it's cucked.
Easier word.
It fits better, though.
I agree.
It's so crazy.
They're prone to sudden, emotional, less, like, rational changes in outlook, perspective, or feeling. Something like so. Like,
you know, bro, you're just like a Spartan. You're just like a Spartan, bro. Mercurial. Wow, that's such a good word, bro. If only you could define it. If only you could define it when asked.
Rational changes in outlook, perspective, or feeling. Something like so. Like, you know, like all the I've never heard a story of like a guy watching their girlfriend do something random and like
just being like, nope.
Be like, oh wow, I can't find you attractive anymore. But I've heard lots of stories of girls having a boyfriend like jump over a fence like very strangely and be like, I could never procreate with that.
I can't have sex with you anymore.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like the craziest ick story I read was a girl who was in a car crash with her.
Great, now we're getting ick analysis. Ick analysis, guys. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Boyfriend, and he just like in the car crash flailed a lot. She has like the running memory of him flailing in the car crash, and she's like,
"Well, it was on it was a Reddit thread, so it's got to be true. I mean, it's got to be true. No one would ever post a Reddit thread from a perspective of a woman saying something totally insane that might provoke a severe emotional reaction from men as like an op, as like a joke or a bit, or like a way to get attention. No one would ever do that. That's never happened."
Stories of girls having a boyfriend like jump over a fence like very strangely and be like, I could never procreate with that.
I can't have sex with you anymore.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like the craziest ick story I read was a girl who was in a car crash with her boyfriend, and he just like in the car crash flailed a lot. She has like the running memory of him flailing in the car crash, and she's like, I got the ick, like I can't be with him anymore. And I was like, bro, first of all, it's not the car crash. There was something before that. It has to be. It like it's like the therapy saying of like, it's never about the orange. Have you ever heard that? So in therapy, we have this rule, like, it's never about...
In therapy, we have this rule? Was Erudite is Erudite a therapist? Since when did Erudite become a therapist? Since when has Erudite been doing therapy? You're not on the team. You're not on the team, Erudite. Who's we? Who's we? When are you doing psychoanalytic therapy, Erudite? That's what that is, right? I would imagine that's psychoanalytic if you're talking, or psychodynamic, or whatever. When you're talking about, like, oh, it's never about the orange. You need to dig deeper than that. When are you doing that? You did psychomagicianry, which is making tests where you do like statistical analysis. And even though I think most of it she was basically not ripping off, but like citing or like repurposing from other people. And then she did what? Counseling. She did counseling, not therapy. Whatever.
Memory of him flailing in the car crash, and she's like, I got the ick.
Like, counseling at faith rehab center.
Crash with her boyfriend, and he just like,
faith-based counseling at an addiction center.
Story I read was a girl who was in a car crash with her boyfriend, and he just like in the car crash flailed a lot. She has like the running memory of him flailing in the car crash, and she's like, I got the ick, like I can't be with him anymore. And I was like, bro, first of all, it's not the car crash. There was something before that. It has to be. It like it's like the therapy saying of like, it's never about the orange. Have you ever heard that? So in therapy, we have this rule, like, it's never about the orange. So if you see like a couple or a person like stressing about a really surface level silly thing, we call that like the orange. And it's like, if somebody's like really worried about, or like gets the ick because their boyfriend was flailing in a car crash, we're like, they didn't get the ick because of the car crash. The ick was building up all until that point. That was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. That was like the most symbolic, simple, aesthetic moment that could capture this like deep psychological thing that was existing the entire time.
Do you think it's something that's, in those cases, do you think it's something that was building, or do you think there was a lack of protective factors that allowed the threshold to be overcome?
I don't know how to see those as different.
Okay, so the way I'm imagining it is your partner is not particularly masculine, but it's good enough. And then they do something extremely emasculate, and you're like, ooh, you're below my prerequisite now. That would be the thing I was describing. And then the other thing that I'm imagining is like, they do lots of things throughout the course of your relationship that changes your mind as to the masculinity of the person. I think you started off with a high opinion of their masculinity, and it's like dropping constantly because of things they do.
It's probably both.
Like both happen, or
I think both occur. Yeah. And I think unfortunately it's going to be varied on the nature.
Like literally, there is no reason for you to be thinking about this. If there's something deeply wrong in your life, if you're having like these thoughts where you're like, oh, it feels like women just every woman has like a masculinity scale for the guy they're dating, and there's things that happen in the relationship that decrease or increase the masculinity scale, and if the masculinity scale falls below a certain level on the masculinity scale, then she sees the guy as feminine, and the ick happens, and then it's gone. This ick analysis, yeah, it's like level shit. It's like so horoscopy, astrology. It's very online, yes. Normal people, you go and try and talk to a normie like this, they're gonna look at you like you're fucking crazy. Yet you're supposed to be gaslit by the presentation of our channel into thinking this is like super healthy, normal. This is how like not the average person, but like this is healthy, normal, intelligent conversation that's just between like, you know, normal people, a normal married couple. No, you're like a freak if you're having this much in-depth rumination on the nature of masculinity.
Of the dynamic of the relationship, the guy himself, and the
incels don't think about this stuff like this. I don't think so. Incels, literally, most incels are like, the level they go to is like about looks maxing and shit. They're like, oh, if you're not, and hypergamy. They're like looks maxing and hypergamy. It doesn't go much deeper than that. Like, oh, the top 20% of men get all the women. Black pilled again. You know, that's the level they go to. It's not, I think that when you analyze the ick through the lens of the Spartan culture, women actually get more and more grossed out the more they see their man engaging in modern capitalist society. And if you go below a certain level of masculinity, then the biomarkers in a woman's brain set off, and her carnal understanding of masculinity kicks in, and all of a sudden she gets the ick response. Like, bro. Remember, Dianetics was originally an alternative to psychiatry before it became a religion. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on your L. Ron Hubbard analysis.
The girl as well, like what she notices and pays attention to. Because I think there are men who are pretty stable and consistent. They just exist at like a just masculine enough level that if they end up in a situation where like their girlfriend pegs them, or they get into a fight in front of their girlfriend, they lose or something like that, it's like over for them. Whereas I think other men are very performatively masculine, and then as you date them, you start to figure out it's performative. Dude, and so like
the editing there
are men who are pretty stable and consistent. They just exist, and the girl as well, like what she notices and pays attention to. Because I think there are men who are pretty stable and consistent. They just exist at like a just masculine enough level that if they end up in a situation where like their girlfriend pegs them, or if they end up in a situation where like their girlfriend pegs them, or they get into a fight and end up in a situation
what is the
where,
editor doing?
Their girlfriend pegs them, or
what is this editor doing, man? Misusing memes at the start of the video, zooming in on Nick's face when they're talking about pegging. Brother, fire this guy.
Stable and consistent. They just exist at like a just masculine enough level that if they end up in a situation where like their girlfriend pegs them, or they get into a fight in front of their girlfriend, they lose or something like that, it's like over for them. Whereas I think other men are very performatively masculine, and then as you date them, you start to figure out it's performative. And so like the buildup over time, there's like that last thing that's just like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I'm over this ick. I'm grossed out. But it was something that was building the entire time. So I think sometimes it's never about the orange, and sometimes it's the stable with a bad acute situation, which is terrifying.
I think that's well put. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just terrifying to think about, because like,
so sometimes it's not about the orange, but sometimes it is about the orange. Wow, it's the two possibilities, the two obvious possibilities. Sometimes it's about the thing, and sometimes it's not about the thing. Wow, really, this is insightful stuff. This is insightful stuff. My worldview is shaken.
You start to figure out it's performative. And so like the buildup over time, there's like that last thing that's just like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I'm over this ick. I'm grossed out. But it was something that was building the entire time. So I think sometimes it's never about the orange, and sometimes it's the stable with a bad acute situation, which is terrifying.
I think that's well put. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just terrifying to think about because like women don't really deal with that. I never in the back of my mind do I go,
thank you for 279, pretty much, Greg. Thank you.
Man, I hope I don't do something unfeminine enough that Nick just gets the ick for me. Thank God, because I feel like I'm kind of gross. I like burp and stuff all the time.
But there's just other things. There's other things that you have to worry about and that other women have to worry about, right? Like
the analysis speaks to something. If a lot of people think like this, they don't. They don't. Most normal people are not sitting there thinking through like the scale of masculinity. And how people drop down on the scale of masculinity and having a masculinity threshold for your relationship. Nobody fucking thinks like that. You talk like this to a normie, they'll look at you like you're crazy.
Women don't really deal with that. I never in the back of my mind do I go, man, I hope I don't do something unfeminine enough that Nick just gets the ick for me. Thank God, because I feel like I'm kind of gross. I like burp and stuff all the time.
But there's just other things. There's other things that you have to worry about and that other women have to worry about, right? Like, don't include this pause.
Do include this pause. Like, I feel like there's nothing comparable to the like women have other.
Oh, simple. That women can't generally be super abrasive, confident, bold, upholding their boundaries by default. All of those things will be perceived as like huge red flags. Bitch, you're a bitch, right? And there's tons of tons of semi-analog things, like the fact that obviously like, this is the generic gendered bullshit, right? Like that women never.
You mean like this whole fucking video? You mean like the whole last 20 minutes?
If you're their friend as a straight male, because like they like you or they just want to fuck you, blah blah blah. There's obviously all those things, but the closest analog I can think is that it's that like men have to maintain some level of X factor. Let's even say X factor, because some women it's not about masculinity at all. They get ick over something else entirely.
Yeah.
But men have to maintain some kind of prerequisitional X factor to maintain attraction, and women have to avoid some certain X factor to have any attractiveness to like 90% of men, maybe 70% of men.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do feel like this is like the classic, like, men who say they're into 90% of the time lying. It's interesting being in this niche, obviously, where I tend to appeal to, if anyone's going to watch my content.
Is that true? Is that true?
Yeah, I do feel like this is like the classic, like, men who say they're into 90% of the time lying. It's interesting being in this niche, obviously, where I tend to appeal to, if anyone's going to watch my content, it's typically going to be women or like trans women, trans men who just think I'm a fucking epic girl boss. There's some straight men who feel that way too, but a lot of the straight men I think that appreciate me are men that genuinely, like, in a deep way. And that's just like...
Why did he poke her hat? They keep touching each other throughout the whole video. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're always like this, if it's a thing for the camera. It's very fucking weird, though.
Not most men.
Thank you for the £5.
Lesson to learn from this man. This is what happens when you try the Destiny lifestyle. Sharing your wife with him probably doesn't help either.
I don't think anyone's sharing their wife with Destiny, okay? Take it easy. Thank you for the £5, though. I don't co-sign that.
Most men are like lying when they say that, and so I think I have a bit of...
Yeah, it's like started in LA. Like it became very trendy for men, like socialite men, especially like in places like Los Angeles, to be like, what do you find in most attractive women? Confident women are just so sick.
And then they're like leftist sexist, where they get like super pissy when you're actually confident.
Yeah.
Because they want you to be confident.
This is like if someone started with girls equals dresses, boys equals cars, sissies equals getting pegged, and then they tried to do a conceptual analysis on 3 facts.
But they don't want you to disagree with them.
I don't think they want you to be confident. It's just cool to say. It's just like fake feminist messaging.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess like when I think about the male plights versus the female plights, I have survivor bias because I have you who likes all...
Please do not point out voice cracks, okay? Voice cracks are actually incredibly masculine and based. Look back in Spartan culture, look back in Roman culture, voice cracks were always considered a sign of masculinity. okay? Because it shows that your voice is deeper sometimes. The fact that it goes to a higher pitch and people notice shows that the bass level there's some depth to it, okay? That's true. You can look that up.
All of the parts of me that most men tend not to like about me.
The guys that actually like confident women are like almost exclusively like nerdy gamer guys.
4,200,069% of all stats are made up.
Thank you for the $5, Nate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Game.
It demonstrates a wider vocal range, actually. It demonstrates a wider vocal range, which is a very masculine trait.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess like when I think about the male plights versus the female plights, I have survivor bias because I have you, who like likes all of the parts of me that most men tend not to like about me.
The guys that actually like confident women are like almost exclusively like who want a dommy mommy.
Yeah. Golden. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the ick is interesting.
Do you think the ick is like a really
comparing types of guys to dogs? Oh, interesting. Comparing types of men to dogs. Oh, hey, I don't have it ready. Sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, guys, 1 moment.
Woof.
really bad thing that women do you think is very unfair, negative, pejorative? Or do you think it's just kind of like it is what it is?
I think it's incredibly unfair, and it also is what it is. I have a suspicion that it's semi like kind of instinctual. I think a good woman.
Guys, I can't think of how to do it. I've got like such a good bit idea in my head. I didn't want to say it because it's like I think it'd be really funny, but I can't think of how to do it properly. So I'm just gonna say the idea, and you guys can laugh at the idea if you think it's funny, and I'll never do the bit. I was thinking of like using the dog soundboard to make it sound like there was a dog that sounded like erudite, constantly barking, and then doing a whole bit where I like pretend to like hit the dog with like a newspaper and like start playing like pipe sound effects as if I'm like chasing the dog around and beating the shit out of it. But I can't think of how to do it, how to make it come across.
Especially if you're married or in a long-term relationship, a good woman gets the ick, and
a good woman. My mouth. I'll just finish this thought. I think a good woman,
I'll try and come up with something at some point, okay? I'll try and come up with it. I'll try and work on it.
She voices it to her male partner. She tells him what the issue is, and she gives him time to.
That'll be a project in the back. That's a project in the background, okay? That is a project in the background. At some point, when you're not expecting it, I'll pull that out. It'll be a rehearsed bit. It'll be amazing, okay?
I think a good woman, especially if you're married or in a long-term relationship, a good woman gets the ick, and
a good woman.
My mouth is so dry. I should get water, actually. I'll just finish this thought. I think a good woman, if she gets the ick at all, she voices it to her male partner. She tells him what the issue is, and she gives him time to fix it. I think an immature woman, so a girl, gets the ick. And so I think it's a very instinctual thing of being like, this isn't going to work.
And sorry, when you say ick, you mean in this very, like, quick sort of way. Like, it's like, boom, something happens, like, oh, like if you've had a mounting experience with your partner that's killing your attraction to them, and you try to voice it to them and they don't take it seriously and they continue down, that's not the ick. That's something.
The issue is that I feel like
that's not.
Yeah, I tuned out. I was thinking about the dog bit. I was thinking about the. Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah, the ick is. It's interesting.
Do you think the ick is like a really bad thing that women do you think is very unfair, negative, pejorative? Or do you think it's just kind of like it is what it is?
I think it's incredibly unfair, and it also is what it is. I have a suspicion that it's semi like kind of instinctual. I think a good woman, especially if you're married or in a long-term relationship, a good woman gets the ick, and
a good woman. My mouth.
How does dry mouth make it so you say women instead of woman? It's just thesaurus maxing. It's either brain okay, I need to chill. It's either there's something fucked up in her head, or she's thesaurus maxing. It's one of the two. There's either some wire isn't fucking connecting, she just says the wrong fucking words. Some neuron isn't firing properly. So some little electric impulse in her head isn't connecting with the other nerve. Whatever's going on in there. Whatever's rattling around, whatever. The hamster that's running in her head, the hamster's spinning a wheel in her head, trying to keep it turning, slowly running out of energy, just tripped over. It just tripped over in the little wheel, and it faltered, and she's like, women. Or she's thesaurus maxing. I can never tell which.
I'll just finish this thought. I think a good woman, if she gets the ick at all, she voices it to her male partner.
My mouth is dry. My mouth actually is dry. That is true.
Some time to fix it. I think an immature woman, so a girl, gets the ick, and so I think it's a very instinctual thing of being like, this isn't gonna work. And
sorry, when you say ick, you mean in this very like quick sort of way, like it's like boom, something happens, like like if you've had a mounting experience with your partner that's killing your attraction to them, and you try to voice it to them and they don't take it seriously and they continue down, that's not the ick. The issue is that I feel like,
yes, I have a 2-liter plastic bottle of water. Problem? Mad? Problem?
The secondary thing you're labeling, sometimes it just maintains until the girl's like, I've only got so long of a window, and the reality is like, I don't want to. But I think a lot of times it becomes that it's not about the orange situation, where like that thing is growing until they hit a point where they're just icked out. I think a lot of those women try to stick it out. Like a good woman tries to stick that out, but at that point,
it's cracked into microplastics.
There's so much to fix that I think that relationship almost never works out.
It's kind of a question of like, are you worth it?
Yeah.
Are you worth me continuing to try to...
And fighting for it and wasting genuine biological...
That's a great example of women's like analog unfairness thing. The fact that guys will fuck around with you forever and you have a window.
Yeah.
A finite window, assuming you want to have kids, which most women do.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just a fact that you always have to be running this analysis of like, do I want to procreate with you? Will you procreate with?
And are you worth? Do I want?
Well, that's what do I want to procreate with? That's what I said.
Wow, guys, isn't it crazy how women have like a limited time to have kids, so I have to like actually pick a partner in their 20s? Guys, isn't that crazy? Whoa, I've never thought of this before.
So while
my worldview has changed,
applying for a visa and everything, you couldn't work like at all, which left you in this position where I'm working 60 sometimes, but you're legally not allowed to work, and because like
to be employed, and you because you did personal training, it would potentially look really weird if you were taking on new clients while in America, especially because most of your... So I guess, what was it like for you to be... You basically took up the mantle. For those who don't know, Nick basically like cooked, cleaned. He was like the master of the house. He did everything in the house. He cooked for me, cleaned the whole house, did all the chores, and I just worked. I like basically haven't really like I would help out every now and then, but I...
Guys, it's so funny listening to just like the cope language. It's like so clear that gender is like such a like, it's a real pain point for both of them. Erudite has written at length, spoken at length about her insecurity and her femininity, how she's so jealous. Nick told Lav how jealous Erudite was of Lav when he was flirting with Lav. He was flirting with Lav and he tells her, well, Erudite is so jealous of you because you've got that feminine spark that Erudite could just never hope to replicate, or something to that effect. I'm sure that's paraphrased. Erudite talks in her videos about how she had some... I don't want to get too into it. I vaguely remember what she said, but she had something wrong with her development, some medical issue, and how that fucked her up and fucked up her view on her own femininity. She's written poems about how fucked up her femininity is and how manly she feels and all this shit. It's like such a... And now Nick is sitting here saying about how, oh, he's actually like a Spartan. He's like a Viking because he doesn't fucking work. It's like such a weird pain point in their lives. Who is actually sitting there ruminating like this? It's so just fucking alien. Like they're trying to like figure out how they fit into society. Like they're total aliens that have come in and they're like trying to, how do I like get the right skin suit to seem normal? It's so fucking weird.
But you're legally not allowed to work, and because like
to be employed, and you because you did personal training, it would potentially look really weird if you were taking on new clients while in America, especially because most of your... So I guess, what was it like for you to be... You basically took up the mantle. For those who don't know, Nick basically like cooked, cleaned. He was like the master of the house. He did everything in the house. He cooked for me, cleaned the whole house, did all the chores.
Because like, here's the thing, right? If Erudite is truly not actually trying to make any interesting content for like an audience and is just trying to vent her own narcissistic like hang-ups, I mean, this is great. This is amazing. Like couples soothing each other on like narcissistic hang-ups. Like, oh yeah, I'm like a real man because I look after the house. Like, yeah, well, it's great for that. But as a piece of content, as like a contribution to the discussion about any of this, it's fucking worthless.
Worked. I like basically haven't really like I would help out every now and then, but I really haven't had to do like a house chore as a requirement in a year, even though I think I still consistently do the garbage, and I.
So okay, he does all the chores, guys.
The house. He did everything in the house. He cooked for me, cleaned the whole house, did all the chores, and I just worked. I like basically haven't really like I would help out every now and then, but I really haven't had to do like a house chore as a requirement in a year. Even though I think I still consistently do the garbage, but like that.
He does all the chores except the garbage, unloading the dishwasher, and putting away the clothes. So how many fucking chores does this guy do? What is he doing? You don't have kids. You do half the chores still. Dude, Nick is a bum. Nick's a total bum. What is this guy doing with his life?
Clients will be American. So
thank you for the 5 Australian, Spencer. As a male wife myself, I cannot relate to Nick at all. I mean, on being an emasculated house husband with an allowance, but I don't actually care at all, based.
I guess, what was it like for you to be... You basically took up the mantle. For those who don't know, Nick basically like cooked, cleaned. He was like the master of the house. He did everything in the house. He cooked for me.
And I'm not just saying based because you give your wife's allowance to my stream.
The whole house, did all the chores, and I just worked. I like basically haven't really like I would help out every now and then, but I really haven't had to do like a house chore as a requirement in a year. Even though I think I still consistently do the garbage, but like that's about it.
So crazy.
Comparatively, you do everything. So I
guess, yeah, comparatively, he does everything in a house with no kids, and you do half the chores.
The question: how did you?
Well, he walks the dog.
That? Did you feel? If yes, why? If not, why? And
well, actually, we walk the dog together sometimes.
Or your view of me?
So, not working definitely didn't make me feel emasculated, just because I don't really attach masculinity to work or money. Not a matrix by which these two things interact for me. There was something like emasculation probably to all the house chores, at which it took me a while to get good at doing them, like to be motivated, to be consistent. You can speak to that. So it wasn't a quick.
Yeah, very normal experience to feel like less of a man when you wash dishes or like fucking take out the garbage. Wow, yeah, that's a really normal experience. Doing basic things to keep your life running is emasculating and undermines your self-image. Thank you for the 5 Australian. You went on Emily BLM rant when I had you on in the car with my wife, which is somewhat ambivalent about. She didn't turn it off or cut my allowance. Okay.
It wasn't a quick process of adaptation. Swapping over to doing all the cooking was pretty easy.
Because you like cooking.
I like cooking already, and I've gotten really good at cooking, and you hate to cook generally.
True.
So that one was pretty easy, and I've already done a lot of cooking.
This is part of that online trend of giving people away too much personal information. Oh, you mean the soy jack, where it says, I'm a sad, lonely F-slur. Here's some embarrassing information about me. Please don't bully me with it. And he's holding a piece of paper with a bunch of embarrassing fucking information. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I know.
Cleaning.
But I'm not a bad cook, just so it's...
No, you're good. You're good. Cleaning and tidying. Ugh. That was really hard for me to adapt to. Like I just didn't have the like space in my brain or whatever to like take on the mental load of being cognizant of all those things.
Well, especially because in our dynamic, concerned about tidiness specifically than you are. So the cleaning standard that like we would talk about and negotiate was higher than the tidiness.
Dude.
Cleaning.
But I'm not a bad cook, just so it's...
No, you're good. You're good. Cleaning and tidying. That was really hard for me to adapt to. Like I just didn't have the like space in my brain or whatever to like take on the mental load of being cognizant of all those things.
Well,
make a list, bro. Make a to-do list.
Especially because in our dynamic, I'm way more concerned about tidiness specifically.
Forever saying, what did I miss? How's my strange darling NSE doing? Yo, dude, I was looking through some of your old Discord logs last night, back when you were being very horrible to this woman. I can't believe some of this shit you were saying about her. Look at this. Anyone got any Black Friday deals? I have a coupon code FISH for 15% off an NSE therapist finding service. Like, this is disgusting. This is foul, dude.
Than you are. So the cleaning standard that like we would talk about and negotiate was higher than the tidiness. And I would notice.
Yeah. So it was super non-intrinsically motivating. You were required. The situation or relationship required like a higher level of tidiness than I was accustomed to or cared about. So it was really hard to do it consistently.
You feel like it's wrong of me to require it of you?
No, That's fine. I think
I feel like when people hear that, they're gonna gay.
Of a woman to want things to be tidy.
No, of a man.
Oh, I mean, if she's making like most of them, it seems obvious to me.
Like, who is like, dude? People like gay to that? If anyone says it's gay to like, I don't know, fucking not live in shit, that's like total cope. That is just cope. And no, I don't truly believe that any woman that's like out there fucking dating right now thinks, wow, you know what's really masculine? Is when the guy I'm dating doesn't fucking clean, doesn't help me with anything, and chores are all on me, and if anything's gonna get cleaned, it's gonna be on me. Yeah, I don't think there's women out there thinking that. I think usually the issue is the total opposite, and the guy is like that, and they're like, can you please fucking do something? I think that's more common by orders of magnitude.
Well, it could be crazy. It'd be crazy. Well,
I agree. Just so it's clear, it's just funny because I'm thinking about all the red pill men and their brains are just like,
no, they're not.
Well, I don't know. Just like
they're like, I don't want to fucking clean. I want to work. I want a woman to do that for me. But most of them do not have jobs to where they can just get a cleaning woman. So they're going to get into relationships where they have to fucking clean.
Apply the same logic backwards, right? If you're in a relationship where the man is making almost all the money,
but he's tidier than the woman.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even if he's not, even if he doesn't care about the tidiness and he just wants his wife to clean more so that he feels like reciprocity in the relationship, is that like a little bit petty? Like maybe a little bit. It's also super fair. If that's what you need to manage your emotions and maintain appreciation for your partner, like fuck it, who cares? Whatever works, right? Humans are not like truth seeking machines, in my estimation. We're function performing machines, right?
Wow, that's profound. Wow, did you come up with that, Nick? Nick, did you come up with that? That's profound. Wow. That sounds like the sort of thing I'd hear some blue-haired liberal debate streamer say on a podcast. Wow, very impressive, Nick. Very profound, very deep.
Like maybe a little bit. It's also super fair. If that's what you need to manage your emotions and maintain appreciation for your partner, like fuck it, who cares? Whatever works, right? Humans are not like truth seeking machines.
This is a
function performing machines.
Verbatim Destiny quote is so fucking crazy.
Right, that's all we care about is that things work, right? And if what you need to make your relationship work is for you to see your partner put in some requisite amount of effort into
try to impress your wife who's Destiny's PA by sounding smart by copying Destiny, it's fucking over. It's actually over.
Working, into cleaning, into personal development, well then so be it. If you love each other, it's worth doing that, right? And so even though it wasn't natural for me to perform those tasks or be that way, I tried really hard to get better at it, to get more consistent at it, and I think I got better consistently, and now I'm really good at it.
Especially with the new house.
Yeah, especially, it's a lot easier too for the guys out there that aren't clean. If you take pride in your space, it's a lot easier to keep it clean. Holy shit. That was like mind blowing.
Termite house was not motivated.
That was hard. But yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Like it is fine for you to ask whatever you need for your relationship to work. And it's fine for your partner to say no.
Were you ever worried that I would view you as like less of a man?
Yeah.
Then?
Yeah.
How did I?
What? What?
It's probably not the right word, but
you're doing chores in the house and you're sitting there in the back of your mind and you're like, my wife's gonna think I'm gay. My wife's gonna leave me because she thinks I'm gay because I'm cleaning. Dude, what? This is so not normal. This is so bizarre.
Assuage those.
Over time, like the fact that things didn't seem to change, right? Like, so I was worried about it early on.
Like you've got,
right?
it's just like displaying hang-ups. You're just displaying weird hang-ups you've got.
I would care about that, but you never know. The ick is mysterious, right? And so I was worried about it, yeah. But I was like, it's regardless of the fear there, it's like the only fair thing to do. So I'll give it a shot. And it's like, if it had seemed like you were losing appreciation, respect, desire for me, then that would have been a conversation, but it never happened, you know?
How would you have that conversation? Because I wonder how often, like when men and women, because women complain all the time about men not doing enough chores. And I think there's a number of reasons for why. Chores around the socialization, gender expect, how their mothers raise them. I think there's a lot of enabling mothers for young men specifically. But I wonder if part of it, I wonder how often it's not like labeled or put the finger on, but that men exist in a state of like, if I do too many chores, my female partner, do you think that that's common, or do you?
Bro, I have no idea. I know for me, the day that I had the switch where I was like kind of like cleaning a little bit now.
You texted me.
Yeah. I was like,
It's so cute.
I was like, God, I'm a homosexual.
Dude, what is going on in your fucked up little head? What thoughts are rattling around in there where you're thinking about sucking cock because you clean the surface? What a fucked up psyche. What a broken psyche. Erudite dog soundbite. I've got a dog soundbite. Only Discord, really. I'm gonna do a quick show though. Guys, 657 people here right now, 160 likes on the stream. Some of those 500 or so people wouldn't mind, please, moving their cursor thumbs up and clicking it, or pressing a thumbs up on the mobile device. That'd be hugely appreciated. Now, if you want to take your sport one step further, if you're loving this erudite, is it hate content? I don't even think I'm being hateful. I don't think I'm being hateful. I think I'm being fair. I think I'm being incredibly fair, incredibly normal. I'm an audience maniac. Okay. If you want to support this content, donate directly through a Stream Elements link in the pinned chat message, buy a membership to the channel, gift a membership to the channel, gift a whole bunch of memberships randomly throughout the chat, buy a super chat, which will highlight your message and read it out on TTS, or buy a super sticker, which is a YouTube image or GIF that will be highlighted in chat, and I'll describe it to you. You can go to discord.gg/Kuihman, twitter.com/Kuihman, or reddit.com/r/Kuihman. Thank you. And thank you for the $5, Spencer. Thank you.
So, like, I feel that way about it. Do I think it's rational? Not really. Is it common that other men are worried that they're...
He feels gay if he has a job. He feels gay if he does housework. Are you sure he's not just gay? It's a valid question at this point, to be honest.
Is going to think that way about them.
Like, do you think there's any like
I
implicit concern?
I don't know.
That's
I really don't.
because that's like.
Make sure to super chat code NSE on this stream to get a 20% discount on Hush Puppies from Long John Silver's. Exclusive this stream only. Tropical fish, sushi.
Thank you for the $9.99. Not so erudite. That's not so erudite. That's Max. That's Max.
If I wonder.
I disavow that.
How many men implicitly are worrying about that without realizing it, which is like making it so much harder for that dynamic to shift. But also, how do you even have that conversation with your partner if you recognize, yeah, I am worried that they're going to think I'm kind of cucked?
So the thing is, I think it's mostly unfounded, right? How many women will be less attracted to a guy if they start caring about how they dress? If they start being concerned with fashion and aesthetic? Very few. If you recognize, yeah, I am worried that they're going to think I'm kind of cucked. So the thing is, I think it's mostly unfounded, right? How many women will be less attracted to a guy if they start caring about how they dress? If they start being concerned with fashion and aesthetic? Very few. Very few. And the ones that will, it's usually a red flag that they're grossed out by it. But also, it's fine.
I do not believe there are a bunch of guys out there who are like, oh, I can't care about how I dress or how I smell because women will think it's gay. I do not believe that is a thing. There are not guys who are worried about that. Maybe like a tiny percentage. This is not a broad attitude. There are guys who are lazy and never bother to, think about it. And that's like a sort of a quote-unquote masculine trait, as in it's something a lot of men do. But there's not a bunch of men who are like, oh, to be masculine, I have to not care about ever putting on half-decent clothes or cleaning.
If that's just...
You're too nice.
I love women.
He does. Just so it's clear, he infantilizes women, okay?
I don't infantilize them.
Positivist? Infantilizes.
I'm not a positivist. I'm not a gender positivist.
I don't infantilize women, okay? It's fucking cringe if men caring about their looks make you feel some sort of way.
Thank you for the membership, Colin. Thank you.
Level of ick that's biological, and I also think that you can overcome certain icks by just like.
I just think I'm consistent on this. I think if a guy is sort of like red pill oriented and they want their wife to not have a job and to cook and clean and
in that dynamic, then yeah, sure.
Well, this is just the reverse. It's just in the case of the red pill guy, you have a very strict determined sort of idea of how women are, and you're attracted to women, not things that aren't women. And if you're a woman who has a very strict and determined view on what men are, and you're not going to be attracted to things that aren't men by your standards, then it's fair. If men don't clean,
yeah. What is she wearing, man? Is this actually a maid outfit? Someone said this was like half of a fucking maid outfit thrown over the rest of her clothing. Is that actually what this is?
You're like, and your guy's cleaning all the time, and men don't worry about fashion, and your guy is worried about fashion, and you're like, well, I can't be attracted to you anymore. You're not a man anymore, right? It's like if that's how the inner working of your head works, I think that's just fine. It's like, is it?
It's just like
yourself?
she dresses so crazy.
Is
It's
it
just so
inviting,
fucking
strange.
strange.
Is it worse to be that way? Yeah, but it's also just kind of fine. You know what I mean?
Is it worse in every single
It's
way?
an apron on top of overalls. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Is it irrational in every single way? Yeah.
But what I mean,
But also,
humans aren't rational. We're not rational beings. We're emotional creatures.
Yeah, but I strive for moral superiority.
Yeah, but you're not perfect. So it's like there's certain things that, like, I think this is in the realm of neutral.
I don't even think Nick is lazy. I was pretty depressed. My wife made me move cross country. But this is where you're wrong. He sent her to DGG. He was like, go talk to Destiny. He was like, start streaming and go talk to Destiny. That was all him. He's driving the whole thing forward. He's after this lifestyle.
Is it worse than positive? Yes. I think it's in the realm of gotcha ass.
Gotcha ass.
This is why I was a feminist first.
Sometimes I work gravitation. Why do you think?
That's kind of scary.
What do you mean?
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women just do that.
Yeah, sure. That's kind of scary for you.
For
How
me
do you deal with that?
specifically, or
I mean, I
just
think it's kind of scary. It should be kind of scary for any woman, but you're a woman who more outwardly presents this
strong, independent.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you want. You think that's better, or for yourself at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, not an objective value statement, but at a subjective value statement, you think that's better. So that must be scary for you. Yeah. It's got to be divine. I think this is in the realm of neutral. Is it worse than positive? Yes. I think it's in the gotcha ass.
Gotcha ass.
This is why I was a feminist first.
Sometimes I worry about gravitation.
And you know why he was a feminist first, right? It's because he was a DGG.
Why do you think?
That's kind of scary.
What do you mean?
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women just do that.
Yeah, sure. That's kind of scary for you.
He was like, look, we can still be based in trad and feminist. Look, watch this guy Destiny. He explains it.
How do you deal with that? I mean, I think it's kind of scary. It should be kind of scary for any woman, but you're a woman who more outwardly presents this
strong, independent.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you want. You think that's better, or for yourself at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, not an objective value statement, but at a subjective value statement, you think that's better. So that must be scary for you. Yeah. It's got to be like personality shaking a little bit.
It's a little mind fucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything else, like even at a political or thinking level, that would be non-negotiables between us, that if we diverge?
I think if you became like super myopic in your view of, and like kind of like dystopian in your view on humanity, like if you became like an anti-natalist, like you're kind of anti-human, I couldn't handle that.
People who are anti-natalists are kind of like anti-theists. They're just like, they're anti-theists, fundamentalists, and anti-natalists are kind of the same.
This is like
person to me.
Like it's death
excruciating
it's
now.
Death culty. It's death cult unbearable. Like, you're just like,
don't care.
You're irrational and unbearable, and like
didn't ask.
I can't say anymore publicly. It's just wow. I'm just like, why are you here? Why are you here? Just leave then.
For you, that's part of why I'm conservative too. It's like, I think is my stance on free, right? I really don't believe.
Yeah, we differ. Do you like being my husband?
Well, I don't really like being your husband. I really like you.
That means he wants to fuck around. That means he wants younger women. That means he wants younger women. That's what that means.
I'm just like, why are you here? Why are you here? Just leave then.
For you.
He wants you, but he also wants younger women.
Part of why I'm conservative too. It's like, I think is my stance on free. I really don't believe.
Yeah, we differ. Do you like being my husband?
Well, I don't really like being your husband. I really like you.
It was kind of laconic.
It's stupid.
What else does that mean? I don't like being a husband, but I like you being my wife. I don't like the expectations and commitments I have to meet as a husband, but I like having you as my wife. That's what that means.
I don't even like being. It's pretty romantic.
No.
Yeah, you're very good. Any last thought?
What do you like about being my wife?
I don't know. I feel
you and everybody else too.
Putting this on video.
I don't know. I feel like nobody cared enough about me, which probably isn't true, just because like this is a feeling. But I felt like nobody cared enough about me to like put in the energy to try to help me. I think Rachel also like wanted to give me that, but she was like as fucked up as I was, so didn't know how to.
Do you think you and Rachel are both fucked up because of like just growing up kind of domineering women in a fundamentalist Christian.
Yes, we're very similarly fucked up with like differences because of the differences in our families, but yeah, very, very similarly fucked up in like the fundamentalist, dominant, strong. And I feel like I feel really blessed. You are willing to put in the.
What's a little touching? I asked that a minute ago. I don't know. Is it like, I don't know if it's like a performative thing for the camera. I truly, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the fucking deal with all the touching is. Do you get the vibe that maybe they're like that couple? They're like that couple on Nights Out. You know what I mean? That couple that are like always fucking touching, always fucking like, you know, get a bit drunk and start fucking making out when they're still with the group. Like do you think it's, yeah. And they're doing it for like the performance, like showing off of their relationship. It's like the guys who get their girlfriends wearing collars, you know?
Families, but yeah, very, very similarly fucked up in like the fundamentalist, dominant, strong. And I feel like I feel really blessed. You are willing to put in the started dating.
I'm a sad, lonely F-slur. Here's some embarrassing information about me. Please don't bully me with it.
And like you really embody that quote that I learned. I think like
I agree. It goes, I'm a sad, lonely F-slur. Here's some embarrassing information about me. Please don't bully me with it. That's the quote.
Problems, like even like the panic attack, started dating. And like you really embody that quote that I learned. I think like a year before we even started dating, when I was
believe in them.
And I cringe out my fucking skin. The Gurren Lagann quote. The Gurren Lagann quote to his girlfriend. Dropping the anime quotes. Using shonen anime quotes to try and like sound profound to your girlfriend. Mind-blowing. Truly mind-blowing. And not just that, but the whole point of... Isn't it sort of like part of the point of that quote that Kamina does have this like ego that he's larger than life and works as a symbol, but it does kind of get him killed. He's sort of like a bit of a narcissist, and Simone has to learn to believe in himself. Not believe in the Kamina that believes in him, but actually just believe in himself. And that's sort of like that's how the story goes. It's not, you know, it's not meant to be like, this is how our relationship works, is you don't believe in yourself. You believe in me and I believe in you. That's like a very weird codependent way to see like your self-worth, right? I feel like, personally. Also, yeah, you ain't Kamina, bro. You ain't fucking Kamina.
And I feel like you...
Yeah, because when Kamina dies, Simone loses all of his self-value because the only person who valued him died. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel really blessed that you are willing...
It's not meant to be like just like a positive quote. It's not meant to be like that. It's not meant to be a message of like, oh, here's how you believe in yourself. It's like a weird cope that he relies on at first that keeps him in Kamina's shadow almost. It's almost, I don't want to like throw, it's just very weird to use our relationship, to say that to your girlfriend, be like, oh, your self-worth should be contingent on my perception of your self-worth. I don't know. It's just very strange.
And the time and the effort, even like the panic attack, started dating. And like you really embody that quote that I learned. I think like a year before we even started dating, when I was...
Believe in them.
The one that's like, love is giving people parts of you that they don't want and you don't want. Especially in the beginning of a relationship, really embodies. I just had a lot of...
Like, so you mean I gave you space to give you those things?
For people parts of you that they don't want and you don't want to give them, and them take. Love is giving people parts of you that they don't want and you don't want. Especially in the beginning of a relationship, really embodies. I just had a lot of...
Like, so you mean I gave you space to give you those things? Is that what you mean?
You loved me through me family.
Yeah, that's
dude,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I did. You're right. Yeah, you did fail me. Yeah. Very strange vibe in this conversation.
The common wisdom of today is to rephrase that, rather like, so what you described as, I love.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Yeah, you were a fucking psycho.
I love you through you failing me. How people look at that these days, they're giving red flags, drop them like a rock.
And I think I had a lot of red flags.
And that, like, in a sense, like using this like modern, like psychology first framework. Yeah.
And like me first framework.
Yeah. It's just, I think the language
endure
of red flags is so bad at avoiding the nuance of individuality, right? Like applying red flags to individuals is like applying statistics to individuals. It's like that. What's it called? What fallacy? Which one? Ecological.
Something that I was like environment.
Yeah. Ecological fallacy. It's like if you're applying these statistics to potential partner, well, why aren't you applying them to race?
It's like the ecological fallacy.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't make, it's not good thinking.
Yeah.
It's like if someone is fucked up and you understand why they're fucked up and they demonstrate an understanding of that fact and a desire to improve, at least consider staying around.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're just a really bad judge of character, then maybe you need to rely on statistics.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is like we met obviously at a high risk. We were dealing with kids that by every ecological fallacy are like not super, and that like most.
Oh my God, this blew my mind, dude. The reason they're in the at-risk kids camp is because of the red flags, right? It's not an ecological fallacy to look at kids in an at-risk kids camp and say, these kids are very likely to not have good lives and not make it well into adulthood and not be functional. That's not ecological fallacy. The reason they're there is because they are those, they have those red flags. That's the purpose of them being there. It's so fucking stupid.
And they demonstrate an understanding of that fact and a desire to improve. At least consider staying around.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're just a really bad judge of character, then maybe you need to rely on statistics.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is like we met obviously at a high risk. We were dealing with kids that by every ecological fallacy are like not super, and that like most left and conservatives would drop bad behavior. They're foul mouthed, they're racist,
and they're from single moms.
They're from single moms. And I really love the ism of that key. If we don't reach their hearts today, they'll break our. And I feel like the way that we have been willing to love each other.
How do I reach these kids?
Is also the way that we're really willing.
How do I reach these kids?
Independently are willing to love people in a similar way, which is that I view people as, and I think when people are like, well, why would you still be friends with Steven after he's like done all these things that you think are wrong? And it's like, because I don't view people as this expression of just like a singularity of a moment. I view people as like a journey. So if they do something wrong, but then when confronted with it, they show like remorse and a willingness to try. It's not just the acts, it's all of it together. It's like a willing. And I think like you and I were both
a singularity of a moment.
Reach their hearts today, they'll break our. Willing to love each other is also the way that we're really willing. I think both of us independently are willing to love people in a similar way, which is that I view people as, and I think when people are like, well, why would you still be friends with Steven after he's like done all these things that you think are wrong? And it's like, because I don't view people as this expression of just like a singularity of a moment. I view people as like a journey. So if they.
Okay. Fairy Queen said that. Fairy Queen's the only one saying that shit. I've always said, I know many other erudite haters have always said, it's not about you should or have to or you're forced to disassociate from Destiny, quit Bridges. You know, Bridges sucks. You should quit it because the show fucking sucks. It's going nowhere. But regardless, it's not about that. It's about not sweeping. It's about saying, this is what happened. And yeah, it's really fucking bad. But this is
say the same
being
thing
honest.
To the first time a German baker flipped the switch in World War II?
Thank you for the $5. It's just about being honest. I couldn't care less who anyone associates with, and a lot of other people don't either. Work for whoever you want, work with whoever you want. I literally don't care what they've done. Within reason, obviously. But as long as you're honest, as long as you're upfront, I am associating with this person and they've done these fucked up things. And I'm not going to pretend they haven't done these fucked up things or try and shut people down who are talking about them. That is how you should present.
You do something wrong, but then when confronted with it, they show like remorse and a willingness to try. It's not just the acts, it's all of it together.
Yeah, like friend and co-worker policing, being like, oh, you can't work with this, like all the shit with DK in charge, right? Or like, oh, you can't work with that editor. Like, that's all so fucking gay. But just like be fucking real about like if you're working with someone who's kind of a fucked up person, or if you're friends with someone who's kind of a fucked up person, just be real. Just say, yeah, they've done these fucked up things. I know they've done these fucked up things. I'm willing to associate with them anyway. Don't play the whole, oh, I'm not addressing that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not addressing that.
It's like a willing. And I think like you and I were both broken. I think I had a lot more ish than you did. But we were both of us also being willing because we've both failed each other. I think both of us have always showed a willingness.
Thank you for the $9.99, Max. I'm not going to read that out or show it on screen. YouTube censored it. RP is a bathroom break. The journey is R, and the destination is a big white deluge flowing out of an orifice. Okay, thank you.
It's tough, right? Because there is a line. There's a point where somebody fails enough that you do have. And I think soft, kind people get trapped where they stay
Crazy
a lot
message.
Longer. But I feel like the way that society is managing that, especially with women, is to tell them to just drop people, which is just not what love is. And so people are getting dropped left, right, and center because they have one thing wrong with them when good luck finding somebody who has a partner who doesn't have something wrong with them. Even now, after we've worked out so many issues, we both still in less like major ways. But it's possible we'll fail each other.
Throwing stuff.
At the beginning of a new problem with a new solution, or...
I just think it's a conflict of standards for NotSoErudite. Chud can't go on to anything else because of morals, but Destiny does all this and your little miss forgiveness. Very true. That is very true. She's totally... There are people that she's willing to sort of like write off because of things they've done. Absolutely are people like that. 100% she writes off people because of like small moral infractions that are far less than the ones we know about for Destiny. And she will go hard about them too. She goes crazy about Mystical whenever she talks about him. Blocking Chud. She freaked out on J-Stalk before. It's like so, just, yeah, it's just like pathetic that you obviously just don't give a fuck about what your friend does. Yeah, and bigs up Destiny saying how much an amazing guy he is all the time.
We both displayed a very profound willingness to, and we've gotten through a lot of
COVID.
Wow.
Bridge gang. Bridge gang.
Thanks guys for watching. If you guys have questions or comments, if you'd like to see Nick again, the way that you demonstrate that.
Dude, wait, I missed it. I missed it, didn't I?
COVID.
Why is he doing the Bridges gang? Why are you doing Bridges gang with Nick? How is Nick Bridges gang? Fuck Nick got to do with Bridges. You ain't on the team though, bro. Fuck Nick got to do with Bridges. That's why I pulled up the, not that. The, Destiny doing the Bridges gang with her, because he wasn't doing it properly. Now she's doing it with her husband instead, because he wasn't interested.
Bridge gang. Bridge gang.
Thanks guys for watching. If you guys have questions or comments, if you'd like to see Nick again, the way that you demonstrate that is by liking.
Dude, do your whole fingers.
Dude.
If you guys want to see more of Nick, engage with the video. If you...
Okay. I thought she was about to mention his channel. Whoa. Wow, we got through that, guys. Somehow we got through that.